Our baby's been born. Come see with a congratulatory gift. As always, Lily's remarks are so tactless it's infuriating. She probably hasn't reflected on taking my fiancé away from me at all. In fact, she seems to be enjoying my reaction. When I stay silent, Lily laughs and says, "Why so quiet? Are you jealous, by any chance? Still holding on to Simon's memory?" Certainly, Lily looks down on me and just wants to assert her dominance. But unfortunately for her, I won't let things go the way Lily wants. "Sure, I'll visit you with my husband," I respond with a deliberately cheerful tone. "Huh?" Seeing Lily's dumbfounded expression, I can't help but smirk. I'm Kelly, turning 45 this year. My life hasn't been all smooth sailing. There was someone I loved and dated for a long time. His name was Simon, and we had worked at the same company. Initially, I had no romantic feelings for Simon. The reason? Simon wasn't particularly good-looking. If I were to rate his looks, he'd be somewhere below average. So, he deviated significantly from my preferences. The turning point in our relationship came during a company party. The company I worked for had a party for team building. And there was one boss who, when he drank, became incredibly troublesome.
"Kelly, are you really drinking?"
Normally, he was a composed person. He gave off the impression of a kind and settled boss in his 50s. When he got drunk, he'd start talking too much. That wasn't the only thing. When he was drunk, he'd excessively pester people. And he'd strongly urge people to drink more. Since it only happened while he was drunk, no one could really confront him about it. "Definitely," I replied calmly, but the boss didn't back down. "You don't need to be shy. Have more." Saying that, he tried to pour a large bottle of beer for me. I couldn't possibly keep up with such a high pace of drinking. I was puzzled about how to escape the situation when Simon said, "You're drinking too much. I'll be with you." Simon said that and took the boss away from me. He saved me. I genuinely thanked Simon at that moment. And when the drinking party ended and we were about to disband, Simon called out to me when I was about to leave alone. "Are you all right earlier?" The boss always gets like that when he's drunk. The best way is to handle it well. Simon furrowed his brows and expressed concern for me. "Thank you. If you weren't there, I don't know what would have happened." I conveyed my sincere gratitude to Simon. Being a newcomer at the company, I couldn't speak up to my boss. That's why Simon's kindness meant so much to me. Then, Simon confessed, "Actually, I've been a little interested in you, Kelly, for a while now. If you're okay with it, would you go out with me?" I was surprised and looked at Simon. His face was slightly red. Simon was my savior. Besides, I didn't have a boyfriend at the time, so I gave an immediate reply. "Yes. I'd love to go out with you." With my affirmative answer, Simon's face lit up. "Thank you. I'll make you happy from now on," he said, holding me tight. I think this moment was the peak of my happiness. At that time, I didn't know anything about what was to come with Simon. And after dating for 3 years, Simon proposed to me the other day. "Will you marry me? I want to marry you too." I immediately gave my enthusiastic answer. And I made a request to Simon. "I want you to meet my best friend at least once. Her name is Lily, and we promised to introduce each other. Since elementary school, I've had a best friend named Lily. Lily was incredibly cute and very popular with the boys because of her looks. Lily was skilled at using puppy dog eyes and had a touch of artifice. In elementary school, we had regular duties, and it was our responsibility to do it for the classroom. But Lily didn't seem to want to do it and would tearfully ask the boys, 'I'm feeling a little under the weather. Could you do it for me?' Of course, the boys she asked readily agreed. As a result, Lily hardly ever had to do the duty herself. In exchange, she was quite disliked by the girls. Backbiting was common, and it seemed like she was being avoided. I had a straightforward personality back then and played around with the boys outside. So, I didn't care about what others thought and became friends with Lily. Both of us stood out from the other girls in our class, and we were left with each other. After that, Lily and I developed a somewhat complicated relationship, and we've kept in touch ever since. Let's continue being good friends forever.
Yeah.
Saying that, we often laughed together. Lily and I had made a promise. The promise was to introduce the person we decided to marry to each other. Lily said, "We've been such good friends for so long. Let's marry the ones we approve of, and that's why we made this promise." Somehow, I liked Lily. She didn't engage in typical girls' flattery, which made me feel at ease. I believed that Lily felt the same way. So, I wanted to introduce Simon to Lily. When I explained the situation to Simon, he said, "Of course. She's your best friend, right? I'd like to greet her properly too," and he smiled.
Really? Great. I'll contact Lily right away.
At that time, I honestly didn't think much beyond fulfilling my promise with Lily. So, I never imagined the outcome that was about to unfold. On the day we had agreed upon, Simon and I waited for Lily at the cafe where we were supposed to meet. And right on time, Lily arrived. "Sorry for keeping you waiting. Is this the Simon that Kelly was talking about?" Lily appeared with her hair beautifully curled in an elegant style, and she immediately asked me about Simon. For some reason, her eyes were sparkling.
That's right. He's the person I'm getting engaged to. Isn't he wonderful?
I introduced Simon with a smile. Simon also smiled at Lily. "Nice to meet you. I'm Simon." Simon greeted Lily in a kind tone. And Lily replied to him with a smile. "I'm Lily. It's so nice to meet you, the wonderful person who's going to be Kelly's fiancé. As Kelly's best friend, I'm truly delighted." Lily said that, blushing. And she celebrated our engagement.
Congratulations! I'm really happy that Kelly is going to be happy, too.
Lily. I was genuinely moved by Lily's joy for my happiness. After that, we continued our cheerful conversation over coffee. "By the way, Kelly, you're marrying such an amazing person. I'm really envious," Lily said with a smile as she talked to me. I felt genuinely pleased by Lily's words. Then, Simon looked puzzled and asked, "Lily, do you have a boyfriend?" Certainly, Lily is cute in appearance. Normally, she would have already been married with children by now. But Lily smiles with a hint of loneliness. "I don't have much luck with men." Lily's demeanor was quite endearing, arousing protective instincts. A regular guy would typically take some action at this point. "Lily, you're so cute that I'm sure you'll find a wonderful person soon." I encouraged Lily in that way. Then, Simon spoke up.
"If it were me, I'd definitely cherish someone as cute as Lily. Maybe your luck has just been bad so far."
Upon hearing that, Lily smiled with delight. "Thank you both. I hope I can find a fiancé as wonderful as Simon." And she said that. We continued to enjoy our conversation as the three of us, and it was some time before it was time to leave. As we were leaving, Lily said to Simon, "Simon, can I have your contact information? If you want, I can share some special information about Kelly," with a mischievous grin in her voice. "Come on, Lily. Don't say weird things to Simon." I jokingly scolded Lily. Lily started laughing as if it were funny.
"I'm just kidding. I want your contact info for wedding planning. I want to be a bridesmaid as Kelly's best friend."
Lily said that, winking at me. Lily. I was sincerely moved by the fact that Lily was thinking about the wedding. So, Simon and Lily exchanged contact information.
"Well, I'll contact you again."
Lily said goodbye with a smile and left. After Lily had completely disappeared from view, Simon muttered, "Lily, she's a nice girl." Simon looked in the direction Lily had left. "Yes," I replied to him. At that time, I had no idea that this would be the beginning of a tragedy. Some time later. Lately, Simon has been slow to reply to my messages. I complained to myself while looking at my smartphone today. It was Sunday, and I had planned to go shopping by myself. It took me 30 minutes by train. I had actually wanted to go out with Simon. But unfortunately, he had turned me down.
Sorry. I have to work today too. It's a holiday overtime shift.
I received a message like this from Simon the day before yesterday. Lately, it has become difficult to contact Simon. And even when I asked him out on dates, he increasingly declined, citing work as the reason. I had already changed jobs a year ago, so I knew roughly when the busy season was at my previous company. Right now, it shouldn't be the busy season. Besides, there were colleagues from my previous company that I still frequently kept in touch with, but I had never heard that Simon was exceptionally busy.
I miss Simon.
I muttered like that, and my gaze happened to land on the terrace seats of a nearby cafe.
Huh!
There, I witnessed an unbelievable scene.
Why are Simon and Lily together?
Right before my eyes, Simon and Lily were sitting together at a terrace table, laughing and chatting. There might be some mistake. I quietly approached the two of them. Then, I overheard a conversation I didn't want to hear between the two.
I really don't have anyone but you.
You're so much cuter than Kelly. I really love you. Simon said that, smiling at Lily with affection, tightly holding her hand. Lily, not seeming to mind, replied, I'm way cuter than Kelly. I can understand why you'd switch from her. I couldn't believe the conversation unfolding between the two of them. They were supposed to be my beloved fiancé and my best friend. But now, they were speaking ill of me and enjoying it. I couldn't help but speak up to them.
Simon, Lily. What on earth is going on?
I think my face turned pale. And it seemed like the two of them hadn't even considered that I would be there.
What? Kelly? Why are you here?
Simon seemed flustered. Lily, on the other hand, remained composed and unapologetic. In fact, she was grinning and showed no signs of remorse.
Oh dear, we got caught,
she said, laughing. Lily's attitude made me tremble with unease.
I thought of you as my best friend, Lily.
We had been friends since elementary school. So, I had trusted Lily. I couldn't help but feel like crying, and my eyes welled up with tears. However, Lily, far from being concerned, just snorted in derision at me.
Lily!
I was stunned by the transformation in my best friend. Then, Lily spoke with a smile.
Best friend? There's no way I'd be friends with someone like you. You are just a stepping stone for me. Besides, Simon is mine now, you know?
Saying that, Lily wrapped her hand around Simon's arm. I was infuriated by Lily's attitude.
Why? You were happy about Simon and me getting engaged, right?
I pleaded with Lily desperately. Maybe I wanted to believe that there was still some conscience left in her. But Lily didn't seem to care at all.
I would never genuinely be happy about your wedding. You decided to get married before cute little me.
It's so irritating, isn't it?
That's...
I felt my strength drain away, and I collapsed to my knees on the spot. Simon tried to run to me for a moment, but Lily stopped him. Then she wore a triumphant expression.
Anyway, Simon is mine now. You can crawl on the ground like a loser, okay? Bye.
Saying that, Lily forcibly dragged Simon away from the scene. With no strength left, I was left alone. 3 years have passed since that terrible incident. At first, I was emotionally devastated by my breakup with Simon, but recently, I've been slowly regaining my smile. Of course, in the beginning, I cried endlessly. I hadn't talked to anyone about the broken engagement except for Lily. That's why I couldn't tell anyone and cried alone. In the end, they didn't apologize to me or anything. Since we had only been engaged and hadn't progressed any further. I didn't want to have anything to do with Simon and Lily anymore. So, I blocked their numbers and made sure I wouldn't receive any more messages from them. Since then, I've been able to live peaceful days. Little by little, I was able to heal the scars from my broken heart with Simon. Over the past 3 years, my surroundings have changed quite a bit. But it's during such times that another incident occurs. One day, my smartphone rang. When I checked the phone number, it was an unknown one. I found it strange, but I answered the call. Hello? The caller on the other end turned out to be someone I didn't want to hear from. Oh, you finally picked up. It's Lily. Long time no see.
Why, Lily? I blocked your number.
I muttered, turning pale. Lily responded with an indifferent attitude.
Since you blocked my calls, I had to change my number, you know?
Don't want to trouble me. Lily said that and chuckled. Clearly, Lily felt no remorse whatsoever. Talking to Lily would only bring back unpleasant memories. So I decided to get to the point and end the call.
So, what's the matter?
I asked in a cold tone, and Lily responded with excitement.
I had a baby. Come see us with a congratulatory gift.
Lily's words were as insensitive as ever. She probably hadn't reflected on taking away my fiancé at all. Instead, she seemed to enjoy my reaction. I could imagine her secretly gloating over the shock I must have felt. As I remained silent, Lily laughed and said,
Why so quiet? Are you jealous? Still hung up on Simon?
Lily continued to look down on me and seemed to want to assert her superiority. But she was out of luck. I wouldn't let things go as Lily wished.
Sure, I'll bring my CEO husband.
I replied in a deliberately cheerful tone. Huh? Lily was taken aback, and I couldn't help but smile. After a moment, Lily seemed to recover and began to mock me.
Kelly, have you gone crazy? A plain girl like you can't possibly marry the CEO.
Lily used foul language and insulted me. She must have convinced herself that my statement was a lie. So, I deliberately smiled with confidence.
Well, you'll see when you meet him, won't you?
Lily then said, anyway, I think you're lying about getting married in the first place. If you come to my place alone, I'll just laugh loudly at you. Saying that, she laughed. I calmly asked for Lily's address and then hung up the phone. Lily's attitude on the phone was unforgivable. It was too terrible, and she looked down on me too much. Thinking back to the events from 3 years ago only fueled my anger. I would make sure she regretted calling me. I vowed to take revenge on Lily, firmly in my heart.
What's wrong? Is something the matter?
There, my husband Joshua spoke to me. Joshua was the same age as me, with a clearly defined face. He had a face that other women wouldn't ignore. He had a well-toned body, my ideal husband. The reason I could marry someone like Joshua was because we met at my new job. I have worked as a secretary at my new job. Having various knowledge happened to come in handy. My previous experience working for a major company was also valued. My work involved various tasks, including managing the CEO's schedule and accompanying him to business meetings. At first, I struggled because I couldn't match names to faces among our business partners. I made mistakes in arranging dinner reservations and was severely scolded. But I managed to get through it all, thanks to Joshua. While scolding me when I made mistakes, Joshua would also point out areas for improvement. He never berated me unfairly, and his dependable support was there to cover for my mistakes. He even helped me remember our business partners by looking at business cards together after work. With his support, I managed to keep working as a secretary. During that time, Joshua suddenly proposed to me.
It's sudden, but will you marry me?
We were what they call a zero-day dating couple. According to Joshua, he fell for me because I tried so hard to keep up with his pace. I thought that being with Joshua would help me grow in many ways. Just being by Joshua's side made work enjoyable for me. So, I gladly accepted Joshua's proposal and got married. I told Joshua about the call from Lily.
Lily said she had a baby and wants me to visit with a congratulatory gift.
I explained the situation to Joshua. He knew about the incident 3 years ago when Lily took Simon from me. I had told him when our marriage was decided. At first, I thought I couldn't marry Joshua while still carrying a torch for Simon. In the end, Joshua said it was okay, so I happily accepted his proposal. That's why Joshua frowned at Lily's insensitive remarks.
That woman is truly tactless. She stole my fiancé and yet acts like that? She's underestimating you too much,
Joshua said, even angrier than I was. Joshua's kindness touched me. I had a request for Joshua.
Joshua, would you mind going to Lily's place with me? I don't want to leave it like this with Lily. Having you there would be a great support for me.
When I made the request, Joshua smiled.
Of course, I'll go with you. I want to stand up to those who have hurt you. Besides, Kelly's former best friend is too malicious. We should set things straight here. Joshua.
I was moved by Joshua's kindness. Joshua gently placed his hand on my head and said,
Let's show them how happy we are together. Let them see that you're much happier than that woman.
That's right. I'm much happier now. Way happier than Lily, I said with a natural smile.
Yeah. That's the spirit. Kelly looks cuter when she's confident.
Joshua laughed heartily. And so, we decided to go to Lily and Simon's place together. On the day we were supposed to visit Lily and Simon, I pressed the intercom button at the entrance alone. Originally, Joshua was supposed to show up with me, but he received an urgent call from work and had to come later. However, he was nearby, so I didn't feel alone. As soon as I knocked at the door, Lily appeared and, upon seeing me alone, she smiled with delight.
So, you're alone after all. You're not very good at hiding your lies.
Lily said this and burst into laughter.
My husband will be here later, so here's this for now.
I handed her a paper bag.
Thank you. You're quite the diligent one, huh? Even after I stole your fiancé.
Lily said with a wicked laugh.
I just have a lot of stuff to give away at home. I just brought something random,
I replied calmly.
Giveaways, huh? Did you have that many friends? You probably bought it, didn't you? Well, you're single, so you must have money,
Lily said, making a baseless assumption. She still seemed to think of me as single, and she was probably more convinced now that I was alone. Lily opened the bag and excitedly exclaimed, "It's a gift card. Since it's mine, don't expect me to return it. What should I choose?" I watched Lily with a cold gaze. Then, Simon, holding the baby, came out from inside.
"Kelly. Long time no see,"
Simon said, looking slightly awkward.
"Congratulations on your child's birth."
I greeted Simon politely without making eye contact.
"Oh, thank you,"
Simon replied without looking at me. Lily, observing our interaction, confidently said,
"Could it be that you still have feelings for Simon?
It's been 3 years, you know?
Stop clinging to my husband."
Lily had a triumphant look on her face.
"No, that's not the case,"
I immediately denied. But Lily mocked, "Oh dear, you don't have to pretend to be strong."
"Hey, Lily, stop."
Seeing Simon's discomfort, Joshua tried to intervene, but Lily wouldn't stop.
"By the way, what's a CEO's husband?"
"A plain girl like you."
"Not to mention a CEO, you wouldn't even attract any man." "Well, maybe an 80-year-old grandpa for caregiving?"
Lily said and laughed. It was clear that Lily had a strong dislike for me. I asked her something I had been curious about for a while.
"Why did you steal Simon in the first place? He's completely different from your usual type, isn't he?"
Lily should have had a similar taste to me. Lily casually replied,
"Well, he's not my type in terms of looks. Maybe it's because of his money? He's from a big company, after all. And I find it fun to take things from others. Especially when the person is as plain as you."
Lily said this and chuckled.
"Huh? What do you mean?"
Simon was clearly shaken. Well, that made sense. Simon probably thought Lily loved him. Lily was very good at giving that impression. Ignoring Simon, I turned to Lily.
"I'm grateful to you for taking Simon away. After all, I was able to marry a wonderful person.
I said with a smile, trying to hide my true feelings. Lily had a smirk on her face.
Marriage is just an act, isn't it? You really made a fool of yourself. Aren't you embarrassed?
Lily was oozing confidence. I wanted to expose Lily's true colors. While I was contemplating my response, a voice from behind, belonging to someone who had been eagerly waiting, interrupted us.
Joshua.
You're late.
Sorry. The CEO from our client company was talking for so long. I made it on time, so forgive me.
Joshua apologized with a hint of regret. As we were having this conversation, Lily, trembling visibly, approached me.
Kelly, what's your relationship with this handsome guy?
She probably had an idea of the answer, but didn't want to believe it. Lily was visibly shaken. Simon, wearing a puzzled expression, was looking at me and Joshua. So, I smiled and answered.
This is my husband, Joshua. Handsome, isn't he?
What? Joshua stepped forward and introduced himself, saying, I apologize for being late. I was on a call with a client. I'm Joshua, the CEO of Future Corporation. Nice to meet you. Joshua handed his business card to Lily and Simon, who started to react with excitement.
Future Corporation, the recently listed company, right? Trading cards and expanding your stores. Wait a minute, this guy. I think I've seen his face on a video streaming site. Could he be a famous personality?
Then Joshua replied with a warm smile, Oh, you've heard of me? We have quite a few followers on our company's social media account, maybe around a few million? Lily was deeply shaken. In fact, Joshua was the president and CEO of Future Corporation. Over the past few years, the company has rapidly expanded its stores. Recently, trading card transactions have been doing well not only for gaming purposes but also for collecting. Joshua had recognized this potential early and expanded the business. Originally, Joshua loved trading cards. He had been collecting them since he was in elementary school. He had always wanted to turn his passion into a job, so he founded his own company. Of course, running a business was not easy. And Joshua had been working hard from a young age. That's why he didn't have time for romance. Thinking about all this, Lily muttered with a pale face.
Is this a lie? Why is the plain Kelly winning? A CEO's wife? That's impossible.
I sighed heavily. Lily.
I don't think there's a competition in marriage, you know?
I muttered half in exasperation, and Lily shouted in frustration.
What?
Just because you married the CEO, you think you've won?
Why do you think I married Simon?
It's because he has money, and I can make you unhappy.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have chosen a mediocre guy like Simon.
Lily laughed.
Lily!
Simon looked shocked. It might have been better if he didn't know the truth. Then Lily approached Joshua.
I want to marry someone like Joshua. Joshua, wouldn't you prefer a beautiful person like me over Kelly? Want to switch now? Lily!
Simon shouted, unable to control his anger. Lily chuckled, It's fine, right? If Kelly remarries Simon, everything will be back to normal. Lily rambled on with her absurd theories, and it became an incomprehensible conversation. Joshua smiled and said,
I fell in love with both Kelly's face and her personality. I'd never go for someone with a terrible personality like you. What? Why?
Lily protested. Lily was visibly upset, and Simon was bewildered. This situation couldn't continue. I spoke up.
Lily, you have a baby now. You should be happy with Simon. It's better to cherish the child you have with him.
Even after my words, Lily got agitated and blurted out, Huh? That child isn't Simon's. Simon's eyes widened.
Huh? What do you mean? If it's not mine, whose child is it?
I looked puzzled and asked Lily, who seemed to have realized her mistake immediately. She stammered, No, well. Simon, still holding the baby, confronted Lily, demanding an explanation. Lily and Simon's argument began. There was no point in staying here any longer.
Joshua, let's go.
I said to Joshua. In the end, Simon and Lily got divorced. One of my former colleagues contacted me and shared it as a topic of conversation. It seems their divorce turned into quite a messy situation. It turns out that the child Lily gave birth to wasn't Simon's biological child, which was discovered shortly after the chaotic incident. When Simon pressed her for answers, it was revealed that Lily had been unfaithful. In fact, Simon wasn't Lily's type, and their marriage was driven by financial motives. Lily had lost interest in Simon long before she took him away from me. Afterward, Lily continued her affair-filled life once she married Simon. While she had managed to keep her infidelity hidden in the past, this time Simon had hired a private investigator, and they uncovered most of her past actions. As a result, they decided to divorce. Lily had been a homemaker, spending money on beauty and fashion, and had no savings. That's why she strongly resisted the divorce, but it was just too malicious. And she eventually gave in when she was told the alimony would be increased. Lily ended up being asked for alimony by Simon. The amount was reasonable, but for a jobless Lily, it was a tough sum. Their child would be raised by Lily's family. The child was not to blame for what happened. It was Lily's wrongdoing. I fervently hoped that the child would grow up strong. Lily's affair partner was someone without much money, and it seemed that this incident would drive him away from Lily. It appeared that Lily had been lavishing her affections on the handsome guy, but her affair partner didn't seem to have any real love for her. While Lily was certainly beautiful, she was already in her 40s. To secure a good future partner, she would need to work on more than just her appearance. She would need to refine her inner self. However, Lily seemed oblivious to this fact. She still believed she could attract others with her looks alone. As a result, she would likely decline on her own. The future for a jobless woman with debts was uncertain at best. I couldn't help but think she got what she deserved. On the other hand, Simon seemed to be in a shell-shocked state. The baby that had been born was not his own. It must have been an unimaginable ordeal for him. However, it was Simon who chose Lily. He brought this upon himself. After the divorce, Simon was reportedly in a terrible state. He couldn't focus on work due to the shock, and his job might be at risk if this continued. If he lost his job at a major company, his future would be bleak. I hoped he would reflect deeply on his past mistakes. Since then, Joshua and I have been working hard together. Today was the grand opening of a new store. And it was a significant milestone for us. In this regard, we put in a lot of effort and dedication. Joshua also seemed to be wearing a proud expression on his face. We had supported each other throughout our journey. When Joshua faced challenges as the CEO, I encouraged him with all my might. When I encountered difficulties in my secretary role, Joshua tirelessly worked on finding solutions, even sacrificing his sleep. Previously, my relationship with Simon had been one where I relied on him entirely. But now, things are different. I wanted to work hard to support Joshua. So, I called out to Joshua. Joshua, the CEO of our client company is here. Got it. I'll be right there. Our relationship would remain the same. We would continue to lean on each other. That's what being a married couple meant to us.